It's Dr. Dave. Welcome back to Microdose U. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a medical condition that you likely could be dealing with that could be causing mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and more. And not only that, it can cause other health issues that are certainly going to give you some trouble. So we're going to talk about that today. Again, welcome to Microdose U. I am Dr. Dave.
Enter the world of magic mushrooms with Microdose U.
Hey there, thanks so much for being with me here. I really appreciate you. And if you're brand new to me, or even if you're not brand new to me, make sure you check out the show notes. I've got links to important articles and all kinds of things that can help you with your microdosing journey. If you're experiencing anxiety, depression, PTSD, or if you just want to make your life better through microdosing, I've got some really great links for you in the show notes of every episode. And also my website, microdoseu.com. I think that can help you out quite a bit. It's simply the word microdose with the letter U on the end of it.com. Go there, check it out. It's pretty new. And I've, recently been working on that to get you some really good stuff to help you with your journey to make your life just so much better. And speaking about making your life so much better, today I'm going to share with you something I don't believe I've ever shared with you on this show. It's something that actually I've just learned, and it's super interesting. I don't know. Sometimes I just go down these rabbit holes and I start researching things, and I get these thoughts that come into my head for no apparent reason. But I started searching around and Googling, like, can constipation cause depression or anxiety or other mental health issues? And what I found was very interesting. And first of all, what it said was um, typically, 16% to 25% of American adults experience constipation. But I think that's really way off. In my opinion, and from my experience, a lot of people don't like to talk about this topic. Is it's embarrassing a little bit, and it shouldn't be, because we all have biological functions that work the same way, and so it really should not be embarrassing. But people just don't like to talk about it. But in my experience, from talking to people and researching, etc., I really think the number is more like 33% to more like 50% in American adults, and probably internationally, probably, because I think people are people all over the world. We're kind of the same. So again, I think more like a third to a half experience some type of constipation, whether it's chronic or episodic or whatever. But whatever, it's absolutely not good for you. Not only not good for you, but very, very dangerous in many ways, not just for physical health, but mental health as well. Let me share with you something I came across when I just did a simple search, and you can do the same thing. Simple search. And what I typed in was, what I type in, can constipation lead to depression and anxiety? And what came up, I'll just read to you. So it says, yes, constipation can be associated with depression and anxiety. Some studies suggest that constipation may be an independent risk factor for depression or a symptom that comes before it. Other studies suggest that constipation and depression may share a common cause, such as low serotonin levels in the brain and gut. Now, that's really interesting to me. Low serotonin. So what comes first? Would it be the low serotonin that causes the constipation, or would it be constipation that then causes low serotonin? But whatever order they come in, we can agree that they're related: constipation and low serotonin levels. And when we know we have low serotonin levels, that's the thing. That's why we feel depressed and anxious and more, and a lot more. And then it goes on to say, here's some other ways constipation may be linked to mood and anxiety: stress and discomfort. Chronic constipation can cause uncertainty and discomfort that can lead to stress and anxiety. Stress can also trigger stress can also trigger. Sometimes I have a tough time speaking, as you know. Stress can trigger constipation. Ain't that true? So the more stressed we are, the more, mental health issues and stress and anxiety that will trigger constipation. Reabsorbing toxins. So constipation could put people at risk of reabsorbing toxins that should have been excreted, which can affect mental health. But so these toxins, instead of being excreted in a normal manner, after, I don't know, 24 hours or so, stay in your gut, keep accumulating, because if you're constipated, then you just keep eating and you're not eliminating properly. So the toxins just keep accumulating. Your gut starts getting fuller and fuller. And by the way, you see people walking around with big tummies. It's so common. I know in the US where I live, it's so common to see typically men with just these, men over 40 or 50 with these big stomachs. And I'm sure that's worldwide also. It's not just the US. And many people think it's because they eat too much or they drink alcohol too much. And that's partly true, and don't exercise enough. However, when you're constipated, a lot of that big tummy, big stomach that you're showing is actually your gut being expanded because of impactions in there. Just fecal waste that's not being eliminated. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and there's nowhere for it to go. But your stomach starts protruding more. So when you see somebody walking around with a big stomach, there's a very good chance that they are constipated and not eliminating properly, and that's the cause of the big stomach. And there are ways to take care of this. So I'm going to share this. I'm going to share something with you towards the end. What you can do to eliminate this constipation, chronic constipation, or even episodic constipation, and therefore eliminate the big stomach and eliminate mental health issues if they're being caused by that, which they are. A lot of times they are. Just think how you feel when you're not able to be regular. There's no way you can feel good about yourself. When you're not regular, you just don't feel right. Something's off. And again, it triggers something to do with serotonin and all other kind of things going on in your gut with toxins. And how can you feel right? There's no way. I submit to you, there's no way you can feel 100% when you're constipated. And again, in my estimation, I go a little bit against the norm as far as like what they say. They say, I think a third to a half, easily 1/3 to 1/2 of the people are dealing with constipation. I do believe that. Also, gut microbiota. The composition of gut microbiota may be associated with higher incidence of anxiety and depression in people with constipation. So in other words, the bacteria in your gut. We have good and bad bacteria throughout our bodies. Our mouths. We all have bacteria in our mouths. As a retired dentist, I can tell you this: we all have bacteria in our mouths, and good and bad. And if we have more bad bacteria in our mouths, that leads to more decay, dental decay, and more gum disease. And by the way, which gum disease is totally related to heart disease and inflammation. And I can maybe do an episode on that some other time if you like. I know we're straying a little bit, but we're really not, because as I said, everything is connected. So if you're walking around with bad bacteria in your mouth, causing gum disease, causing inflammation in your body, how do you think that's affecting your mental health? Well, it can't be good. There's no way that's good. It's impossible. Bad bacteria, disease, inflammation, mental health. And the same thing with your gut. Bad bacteria, disease, inflammation, mental health issues. Again, like I've been saying for years on this show, everything is connected. So again, if you're thinking, I just want to hear him talk about how many milligrams I should take. Well, yeah, but it's a lot more complex than that, because if you're only concerned about microdosing and nothing else, it's not going to work. And I want it to work for you. That's why I'm spending time talking about these issues, because I want you to feel better every day. But you can't feel better every day unless you take care of these other issues as well. So I hope you're listening very seriously. What else here? Again, this is just from a search. Clinicians should pay close attention to the emotional and psychological status of patients with constipation and consider depression screening and assessment. So that means pretty much doctors out there that are treating patients, if your patient tells you that they're constipated, take a look at their mental health, because it's all connected. Treatments that increase serotonin levels in the brain and gut may help with both constipation and depression. Well, what are those treatments? One treatment is, of course, SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. They increase the amount of serotonin in your brain. But as we've talked about, these are not really fixes. They mask the problem, because they take care of the problem only while you're on it. And I don't think they take care of the problem in the greatest way ever. And I dealt with that. I was on Lexapro, which is an SSRI. And yeah, it did help. And many people ask me, even today, they say, like, Dr. Dave, should I take an SSRI? And I say, I'm not against them. And if you need to take an SSRI to get yourself started and feel better, reasonably quickly, they take a couple weeks to kick in, but reasonably quickly and predictably, that they've got their place. They do have their place. I started with an SSRI, but then when I started microdosing, it took over, and it worked so much better and on a permanent basis, because I don't have to microdose every day. And then I weaned off of the Lexapro, and I feel great, and I like microdosing. Microdosing is not the kind of thing that I just did for a short amount of time then stopped, because I don't know if that would have worked really well for me. I'm not sure. I've told you about that many times. I continue to microdose, and occasionally a little bit of a larger dose. I've never taken a heroic. I've never done 4 to 5 grams. But I've taken larger doses for sure. 1, 2, 2+ grams. I've done that. And I think they really help a lot. But again, it gets back to serotonin. It gets back to toxins in your gut, because we're talking about that today. I could talk about toxins in your mouth, and I'm going to do some research on that, because I'm quite sure the same thing would be true if I researched that as well. Do toxins in your mouth, if you've got gum disease, if you've got a lot of decay, things that are causing oral health issues, problems, disease, could they be related to mental health issues? And I'm going to research that. Dentists don't talk about that stuff. But again, as a retired dentist, and I go a lot deeper into the medical part of it, I think there's a good chance that's true. So what do you do if you're constipated? If you deal with constipation, well, the first thing is to take a look at your diet. And you know this already, but I still will tell you, are you eating enough fiber? Are you eating too many processed foods? Are you eating too much junk and not getting enough fiber? And chances are that's true. I think it's true for probably most people. They're eating too many processed foods, not enough fiber. So step it up. Get some more oatmeal into your diet. Get some more things like even grits, lots of salads, lots of fruits and vegetables, as opposed to bread, potato chips, cakes, pastries, ice cream. That stuff's not going to do any good for you. Am I against having any of that? No, I'm not. I'm not against it. I mean, occasionally I'll eat a little bit of ice cream because I love it. But I don't eat a lot of it at all. I'll eat more of an anti-inflammatory diet. And I probably should do an episode on anti-inflammatory diet as well, because I am absolutely on an anti-inflammatory diet. And I really do believe it helps. But also, if you're not sure if you can really even get enough fiber, if you're just not sure, don't know what to do, there are supplements you can take, and they're very safe. And what I'll do, and you can just go to your local health food store or grocery store even, and pick up like some type of supplement capsules that have psyllium husk fiber in them. They're very, I said, they're very safe. They're really effective, and you can make that just part of your daily supplemental activity. And I'll share. You can just go to your grocery store or whatever, but I'll share a link in the show notes here. What I like on Amazon, I'll share it with you, and you can get that or don't get that. It doesn't matter, but I just make it easy for you, because if you have no idea whatsoever, I'll share something that's really good that'll work for you. I promise it'll work. But the most important thing is that you just get things moving in your body. And also, speaking about that, not only diet, but move your body, exercise your body, even if it's just walking is my favorite exercise. Actually, I shouldn't say even if it means just walking, because walking is great. Walking is a great exercise. And drink plenty of water. You need to hydrate. Most people are dehydrated, which again, that's going to cause not only constipation, but it's gonna throw your minerals and electrolytes off, and if you're not drinking enough water. So again, everything is so connected here, and I want to see you just feel better for the first time in your life. I want to see you feel better predictably every day. So let's start working on this. Get yourself regular. How many times? What does regular mean? I know they say it's different for everybody. I know that, and I've read articles that say it's normal. Some people, it's normal to go twice. I'm sorry, every other day, every 2 days, a bowel movement every 2 days. I don't think that's normal at all. I think that's holding too much in your gut. I believe. I think it's healthiest to go at least 2 times a day. Just clean everything out of there. You don't want that stuff stuck in your gut. There's nothing good about that. Get it to move along, digest the food, and move the waste along. Get it out of there. I know you don't want to talk about this. It's not the kind of thing you talk about at a family gathering or a party, right? So leave it to me, Dr. Dave. I will be your ambassador for this, because I'll talk about it. I don't care, because I've found the more you go, the healthier you feel, less fatigue you feel. You want to get out there and do stuff if you're regular, and just get that waste out of your body. There's nobody that could believe that keeping waste in your body is a good thing. There's just nobody would ever say that keeping waste inside your body is a good thing. It's impossible. So go ahead, clean yourself out, check the show notes for the link I'm going to give you if you're not sure how to do it, and take the fiber supplement as often as you can. You can titrate it yourself. You can try to just read the directions, figure it out. You can do this. It's not difficult at all. It's not super scientific whatsoever. But you're going to start feeling better, and actually pretty quickly. Actually, really quickly. Yeah, you will. And again, this is the kind of thing that, you go in and do talk therapy with your therapist, and they're going to be asking you questions about your childhood, but they're not asking you if you're regular or not. They're just not. They're not trained to do that. They're not going into, and they're probably not asking you about your sleep and if you've had a sleep study. They're just asking you questions about your childhood. And again, that's not horrible, but they're not treating everything. Here on Microdose U, or at Microdose U, it's a virtual place. At Microdose U, we're treating the entire body and getting you out of your mental health funk, right? That's what we want to do. I want you to feel better. I want you to hang out with me more when you feel better. Promise me that. Maybe we'll do a meetup somewhere. I've been talking about this for like a couple years now. I want to do a meetup somewhere where we can all kind of hang out and share ideas. I've been thinking about what am I thinking about? Like it's like a hot spring in Utah, here in Utah somewhere. There's some really cool ones, hot springs, and we could just hang and have fun and discuss things and get some good food together. What do you think? I mean, again, I know I've been talking about it for a while. It takes a lot of effort to set something like that up, and it would be an expense, I know, and it's difficult because a lot of people are living tight these days. I understand. I really do get it. But I'm still trying to come up with ideas. That's just the way I do things. Okay, I really hope this episode helps you. Send me a message. Let me know what you think. You can always reach me. The links are in the show notes and on my website, microdoseu.com. Till next time, I'm Dr. Dave. I do love you, and I'll see you on the next episode.